During my early days as a psychiatric nurse at a residential mental health facility, I encountered a resident named Marion Dutchine. Marion was an elective mute, unable or unwilling to speak despite no clear medical reason for his condition. He stood an imposing 7 feet tall and had a peculiar past. Marion's story began in the Deep South, where he grew up before joining the military. Mysteriously, one night, he vanished from his military station, leading to a long period of being declared AWOL until eventually being presumed missing and dead. A decade later, a man matching Marion's description walked into an emergency room at a VA hospital in the Midwest. He identified himself as Marion Dutchine and uttered the chilling words, "I've been dead for 10 years." From that moment, Marion remained silent. Although he appeared physically healthy and well-fed, his family denied his identity, claiming he was a haint or a spirit imitating their deceased relative. Marion paced tirelessly, wearing a perpetual smile, occasionally moving his mouth as if speaking or muttering, but no sound emerged. His head would arch back, mimicking laughter, yet not even a breath escaped. Attempts to help Marion through medication or therapy proved futile. He would eat when directed but showed no signs of hunger otherwise. Smoking a cigarette, he did so delicately, almost ceremoniously, without craving the habit. Marion seemed devoid of desire or needs, his only response being an eerie mimicry of laughter. On my final day at the facility, as I left for a new chapter in my career, I witnessed Marion pacing in the parking lot, his head thrown back in silent mirth. Reflecting on my time with him, I often wondered if I had been in the presence of a ghost all along. To this day, the true nature of Marion Dutchine remains a haunting enigma. Embarking on a cross-country journey with my mom and sister, we found ourselves driving late into the night. Although fatigue hadn't yet overtaken us, nature called, and we needed to refuel our car. Spotting the lone rest stop in a desolate stretch of road, we pulled in. As we stepped out of the car, an ominous feeling enveloped us, unlike anything we had encountered before. There was an unsettling aura that pervaded the air, chilling us to the core. My mom and sister hurried into the restroom while I remained in the car, observing our surroundings. A van full of teenagers and a small gray compact car occupied the area, but it was the two motionless figures near the compact car that sent shivers down my spine. These hooded men, frozen in stillness, seemed disconnected from the world. Not talking, not using their phones, just standing, unwavering. A sense of unease grew as the teenagers expressed their discomfort and abruptly left. I kept my gaze fixed on the motionless men, their bodies refusing to budge an inch. Darkness blanketed the rest stop, with only dim overhead lights illuminating the gas station awning. Then, in unison, my mom, sister, and I noticed it, those empty eyes, devoid of any light or reflection, like infinite voids. Instinctively, we sprinted back to our car. As we sped away, the two men slowly turned their heads to face us, their bodies rigidly locked in position. We raced at speeds we had never dared before, desperate to escape the unsettling encounter. Only when we reached the safety of the next city did we stop. But the horror didn't end there. Our attempts to locate that rest stop on maps, both digital and paper, proved fruitless. The exact spot where it should have been remained inexplicably absent, defying our recollection. Local inquiries yielded confusion, suggesting there was no such rest stop along the interstate. Haunted by the memory of those pitch-black eyes, the unnerving stillness, and the inexplicable absence of the rest stop, we were left questioning our own sanity. Something otherworldly had crossed our path that night, forever etching its presence in our minds, a chilling reminder of the mysteries lurking in the shadows of our world. Years ago, a group of friends, bored and seeking adventure, decided to visit a graveyard on a fateful weekday night. Little did they know that their choice would lead to a chilling encounter that defied explanation. As they drove through the massive cemetery in an old beat-up Subaru, the headlights casting eerie shadows, a sense of anticipation mixed with trepidation filled the air. They stopped the car, their hearts racing, and ventured out to explore on foot. The graveyard loomed before them, two stones standing as silent sentinels in the moonlit night. Descending down a grassy hill, they stumbled upon a serene pond, its surface shimmering under the pale moonlight. On the other side, a figure emerged from the darkness, an enigmatic man in a black silhouette, his frame adorned with an old-fashioned top hat. Intrigued yet unnerved, they cautiously approached, their voices filled with excitement. But to their surprise, the figure remained motionless, his gaze fixed ahead, offering no response. Unnerved by the silence, the friends exchanged uneasy glances. Suddenly, as if possessed by an unseen force, the man sprang to his feet and started sprinting across the water towards them. Shock paralyzed them as they watched the impossible unfold before their eyes. The man vanished halfway through the pond, his form dissipating like mist. Disbelief gave way to primal fear, and with adrenaline surging through their veins, they turned and fled back up the hill towards their car. Panic escalated when they realized the car refused to start. Frantically turning the key, their desperate attempts yielded no results. As they huddled together in the vehicle, the haunting sound of banging resonated from the trunk, as if an unseen force relentlessly hammered from within. The friends exchanged terrified glances, their hearts pounding in their chests. With their minds clouded by fear, one of them managed to suggest calling for help, only to discover their phones had no signal in the graveyard's dark embrace. A sense of isolation settled upon them, amplifying the weight of the unknown. Time seemed to stretch, and every passing second felt like an eternity in the suffocating presence of the graveyard. Finally, just as despair threatened to consume them, the car roared to life. The engine's growl shattered the oppressive silence, and they wasted no time in flooring the accelerator, leaving the graveyard behind them in a cloud of dust and dread. It was only upon crossing the cemetery gates that their phones regained signal. Bewildered and shaken to their core, they struggled to make sense of the inexplicable events that had unfolded. Their minds grappled with the paranormal encounter, desperately seeking rational explanations. Yet, deep within their souls, they couldn't deny that something far beyond their understanding had manifested that night, a chilling reminder that the boundaries between the living and the dead are sometimes blurred, and the graveyard holds secrets that defy moral comprehension. To this day, the friends remain haunted by the harrowing encounter, forever marked by the inexplicable. The memory of that night lingers in their minds, an enduring reminder of the otherworldly forces that reside in the darkness of the graveyard, waiting to cross paths with unsuspecting souls who dare to venture into their realm.